Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the WGLNA Season 2 playoffs. I'm your host, Christian Toma. To my left, David Williams. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube /WGLNA. If you're not watching this on BattleViewer.com, go over there right now and check it out. And finally, follow us on Twitter @WGLNA so you guys can stay up to date with what's happening in the community around you. What's happening is it's the playoffs. And answer for us, the question of the day.
Which is, who do you think is going to make it to the live finals? That's 4 teams total.
Yeah, so I'm now, after watching that first match, it was like, it's between Aquatic M60s and Eclipse when that happens, but Caller Wanted beat Aquatic M60, so I don't even know. I don't even know anymore.
While Caller Wanted was looking very, very dangerous, especially with the artillery play, based on what I saw last time, I think I'm more resolute in Eclipse making it through.
Okay.
And we're about to find out who's really going to be the next competitor for high voltage, but I suspect it's going to be 07.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Our next battle is rivaL versus 07. The face-off is ready. On the side of 07, we've got Meadowhawk. On the side of rivaL, we have J Smooth. Gentlemen, welcome to the face-off. J Smooth. Hey, Jay, if that's J Smooth, I'm going to go ahead and start off with you, sir. So the question we're kind of asking is the direct competition that you're facing off tonight. So what in 07's gameplay worries you guys as rivaL the most?
The fact that they can shoot back at us. Not too happy about that. We're really hoping for some place where we can drive up and shoot, and they just say bang. So it scares us that they can shoot back some. Also, they got a guy named Vetro that is not so cool. So we're kind of worried about that.
Is this a one-up from what Mr. Man, like he grew a beard in a night, and J Smooth could just grow
like a combination
all
of
hair?
Santa Smooth and a Meadowhawk thing?
Oh no, guys, this is definitely my Meadowhawk hair I had to grow out for, but this is my playoff beard.
Oh, the playoff beard. That's right.
Come on.
Oh, it's of course, J Smooth. I'm so sorry. Love the Meadowhawk hair, and I'm sure the playoff beard is going to come in quite handy tonight.
All right, Jay, as potentially the last time this season you get to address your fans and viewers, is there anything you'd like to say now?
Just to continue the shout-outs from last night, Racer is another big one. Of course, our sponsors with bringing on rivaL. All the tanking community that's been around here the last 7 seasons. If you've been around that long, all the new players, it's awesome to get your feedback, say hi in pub games, and it's great. We love it.
Awesome, and I'm sure they love it too, J Smooth. Now, Meadowhawk, over to you. Kind of the same question, but mirrored. What part of rivaL's gameplay kind of worries you guys the most as 07?
I'd like to first say that that previous game is probably one of the greatest reasons why I love being in this league, because that was intense, like just unreal. Just my heart was beating watching it. It was absolutely insane. But as for rivaL, they really got our goose last time. They're a bunch of Mavericks. Like Merlin, they can just pop up anywhere around the map. And J Smooth, he's cold as Iceman. He won't, doesn't give us anything. So he's someone to watch out for, definitely.
Yeah, he also brings you to the danger zone there. So very, very well said, Meadowhawk.
I've never wanted to jump into a tank mid-battle as much as I did in that last one, Meadowhawk.
It was awesome. It was a great game.
Please give me that tank right now. Okay, so Meadowhawk, same thing I asked J Smooth. This is potentially the last time you get to address your fans and viewers. Is there anything you would like to say right now?
I want to thank all the fans. I mean, they've been supporting us throughout the season. We're not a Hollywood underdog story. Fosta's really been working hard, getting us practice up for this match so that we're going to have focus like Cougar, we're going to have reflexes like Viper, and the strength of a Wolfman. So, anything's going to go. I mean, rivaL can throw us any kind of a slider they want, but, we'll see what happens when, the sun's down.
Well, squeezed in sundown.
Well,
that's so great.
Well said indeed, Meadowhawk. Gentlemen, before we get into the Bado, J Smooth, there's anything I'd like to say to Meadowhawk before we get started?
Oh yeah, talk to me, Goose. Are you ready for this? We got something worked up.
It's
yeah.
Oh,
here it
You
is.
been practicing? You good?
what?
We've, J Smooth. There's the rumor. B-Ted's been sending the rumor that J Smooth might be retiring. this season. And I'm a good jester, and I'm real chipper too. But we've been practicing on this as a tribute to Jay Smooth and everything with the league, because he's been with the league for so long.
Yeah.
So Jay Smooth, you ready to go in Danger Zone?
I'm ready.
All right. Revving up your engine. Listen to her howl and roar.
Metal under tension, begging for you to touch and go.
Highway to the danger zone. Ride it into the danger zone.
Well done.
Heading into twilight, shedding every week's a night.
She's got you jumping off the deck and shoving into overdrive.
Highway
to the danger zone.
Gentlemen, we're going to have to close this one out. As amazing as that was, best of luck to both of you, and we'll see you shortly in the battle. Woo! I'm an instant fan.
For some reason, I don't think a cappella groups done over Skype latency are going to become a thing.
Are you kidding me? Chat is you love that chat. I love that.
Oh, in case anybody missed it, what was going on there was Meadowhawk was quoting the call signs of as many people from Top Gun as possible. Great.
I was one of those people.
Let's get into the actual pre-match screen here. rivaL has played Steps the most with the T22, and Executus is currently their top scorer. 07 has played Himmelsdorf the most, the T22 the most, and Vetro is always and forever will be their top scorer.
Yeah, every single battle, win or lose, he always comes out on top with an amazing amount of points. Now the bracket has been updated, so let's pull up the bracket here before we get into our second match between Color Wanted and Aquatic M60s. They won, so they're going to be advancing into battle number 3, which is Eclipse. And what you guys are seeing now is going to be rivaL versus 07. Whoever wins this will go to face off against High Voltage in our final match of the night. And then again, these guys, as a reminder, are all facing off. So the 2 spots that remain are for the live finals in Vegas. Potentially, the winner will get $75,000. And they're going to try to join Simp and Noble, who are there already waiting for them. Right now, David, 07 versus rivaL. In the pregame show, we gave the advantage to 07, just how they've been playing as of late. So we'll see if that comes through. As ladies and gentlemen, our second match of the playoffs is about to be underway. It's 07 versus rivaL Simple Stankers. Starting out onto Cliff. Let's go right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
For Simple Tankers, a Bat Shadow 140, an STB, 2 T22s, an Object 430, and a T54 407. A Bat Shot, 2 907s, 2 T22s, a TVP, and an RU251.
Now, I am very, very, very excited to see both of these teams right now on Cliff, because the times that we see them, there's no slow playing here. It's just let's all go head-to-head brawl and see who comes out on top.
Now, whoever loses this battle, well, I believe, according to the previous assessments, AM60s will be 8th and they will be 7th. So whoever loses this battle will still have a relegation match to play in order to earn their way, or keep their way in the league, earn their right to stay in the league. That's what I'm going for here. And both teams going to move right into a really proper middle fight as 07 crashes into Simple Tankers.
Here we go, guys. Cliff is back. Makos and Pub Whisperer both spotting each other out. Commander J, looks like Pride actually getting a lot of damage there on Makos, taking 690 in that back chat, having to back up. Executus and J Smooth still want more. They're going to push over that halfway point to get that damage onto him. Meanwhile, Warbander taking some shots there, doing some on damage, but Rux takes out Makos, and now Rux taking some damage, 1147. He was trying to fire onto Pub Whisperer, but he took out his own teammate. And now Synergy 3K getting low. Commander J, though, gonna go down to Warbander. It's a 1-for-1 exchange between both these teams. Synergy 3K, though, might be going down any second. There it is. Steinpride picking that one up, and that is now 2 tanks down for 07 as the battle for Cliff commences. Rux and J Smooth going head-to-head. J Smooth not gonna have any of it. Takes down Rux in his T54. Meanwhile, Warbander getting extremely low in the center. Pride, though, one more shot away from going down. Flack coming to join him. Fossa wrapping around the side. Flack comes up, takes that shot onto Warbander. Executus finds Vetro, and it's gonna be rivaL taking the first victory here onto Cliffs in the second match of the night. Not before Coffee Thief has something to say about that. Takes down Commodore, leaving just Fosta alive for 07. rivaL knows where he's at. They're going to take him down. Fosta actually finishing off Pride there. And the RE2 getting pushed back extremely aggressively. Executus coming in for the kill. And that is going to be rivaL's first victory of the night here. Starting out strong onto Cliff. The team kill from 07. The team kill. Now tell me, because last time we saw that, you said it wasn't really the thing that was the deciding factor of the match, but in that one, it seemed like that happened pretty early on, enough to be pretty important.
Potentially.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and look to be 100% positive. It may have saved a shot out of the batch chat. I don't think it made that much of a difference. Really, him getting caught there to begin with was probably the biggest deal. But let's go ahead and look at those stats.
Let's do it. A lot of damage on the side.
So 407, Vetro at 2200. Everybody else below 1500, but between 1500 and 1000 is Rox, Warbander, Commodore, Synergy, 3K, and Fosta. And Makos, the critical batch chat, only getting one shot out for 392. For Simple Tankers, 3400 out of Coffee Thief, 2600 out of Executus, 1800 out of Pride, 1700 out of J Smooth, 1600 out of Flack, 1124 from Pub Whisperer, and 365 for Jay. You have somewhat of a side-to-side matchup here, but the overall depth of the tier 9 is getting in more damage than the tier 8. Or rather the tier 8 and its tier 10 counterpart. It was fairly close, but it just comes down to really positional stuff.
Okay.
And just what tanks they got picked early. And once they took down where Makos was, they had free reign over the entire southern part of that, or western part of that hill, the lower ground.
It seems like once one tank falls there in the center battle, whatever side it's on, it opens up a whole world of positions for the enemy team there, because it's such a delicate balance, as we've seen.
They either needed to push around the horn of the hill or get that TVP doing damage into those center tanks as they're coming across. They needed to find an isolation or a focus fire target and be the first team to focus, because Makos was going down.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, rivaL now up 1-0 against 07. We're switching sides. Let's go right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
For rivaL, a batch chat of 907 and STB, 2 T22s, a TVP, and an RU-251. For 07, a batch chat of 907, 2 T22s, 2 TVPs, and an RU-251. rivaL so far with a great showing. 07, perhaps displaying some nerves going into this fight, because there was a number of fumbles and just awkward cohesion overall. But such is the nature of Cliff fights. Hard to really deduce the overall state of mind in a team. Most people are prepared for any result when they get into there, knowing full well that they're risking big. And we'll see here if Simple Tankers can do the same from the offensive side. They are bunching everybody in. All eggs in one basket, and 07 looks like they are standing off to try and soak damage from the sides.
Right now, Mako's the only one really going aggressive in the center. Foss, though, getting lit up for 640, 955, and he goes down. Flack picking him up there at the end in that 907. Already a tank falling for 07. We'll see if they can win without it. The HP, though, still close relatively. J Smooth and Executus and Flack all taking a lot of damage. Flack from Makos. He has one more shot in that batch yet, and he's going to get it off. It doesn't connect, but J Smooth take it. He goes down as well. So 07 coming back to respond, finding the RU-251 on the enemy team, and that is now a 1-for-1 exchange on both of these teams going into our second match.
But with Warbander clipping and now Rox clipping, Simple Tankers do have an advantage if they push around the horn of the hill here against Warbander and Rox. Pride and Commander J are going to go in the TVPs, or so the T22s against the TVPs, and Warbander's almost clipped.
There it is right now. He finally has his 4 shots, but he's taken 592 response, and that first one doesn't even connect. The second one does for 388, but he is taking shot after shot from both Pride and Commander J. One more, he'll be going down from the back, and there it is. Commander J taking down that 50-51. In his T22, meanwhile, 07 going to use this to start pushing against the 50-51 907 for the side of Simple Tankers. They found Flack, and they've got him dead to rights. Commodore being set on fire, though. Executus picks him up, but Vetro finds Flack. A 1-for-1 exchange. 4 tanks on the side of 07, just 5. Well, 5 actually now on Simple Tankers, just 3 on 07. As another kill going across. Executus getting 2 in a row. Rox goes down. Synergy 3K does find Coffee Thief, but it is not going to be enough, it looks like, to find this match, as Simple Tankers just has too many tanks, too much HP, leaving just Synergy 3K alone to fight. Simple Tankers rival gonna pick up their second victory here in a row. On to Cliff. In a very kind of decisive way, pushing around the side, trying to find those autoloaders, and there it is, Executus with 3 kills at the end. rivaL 2-0 now against 07. So we kind of talked about a quick drop from 07, losing the RE251, but then 07 found the RE251 of rivaL, and so it's like, okay, well, it's kind of even, but you totally called it. Once they were reloading, the 2 T-22s push around, 2 tanks gone, over.
There's that. They engaged the RU-251 over dropping a tier 10. They had the opportunity to take advantage of a lot of things, but because they were stood off, because they pushed Foster in an incredibly risky position at that point in time, 07 just giving away the keys to the map, and Simple Tankers keeping it together well enough to understand the perfect play in that situation. If you're going to go head-to-head with 2 TVPs, and you have to send 2 single-shot tier 10s over there, go ahead and send the T-22s, because that heat is going to just disappear into the T-22s a lot of time.
The effective bouncy
and they
armor.
will win. In the meantime, you'll have enough DPM in the middle fight to be able to pull it out. In case there's a trap, the 2 T-22s can last longer in the event more tanks jump on
Let your
them.
team do something else.
Every response from Simple Tankers, great. And 07 giving them the room to do that. So a mistake leading to a great play. Let's go ahead and get into stats.
Let's do it.
Synergy 3K with 2,600 out of his T-22, 1,900 out of Etro, 1,900 out of Makos, 1,400 out of Warbander, 1,000 out of Rocks. And over here for Simple Tankers, totally different ball game with Pride getting 3,000, Executus with 2,800, Commander J with 2,800, 2,000 out of Coffee Thief, 1,500 out of Pub Whisperer. And for both Flak and J Smooth, less than 1 shot each, but
Going down, but
not huge losses when you
No.
consider what they gained.
yeah, absolutely. Getting another victory now, going up 2-0 against 07. This is the team, again, that we were praising in the beginning for just, at the end of the season, firing at all cylinders, controlling a map.
You know, we've seen that a lot on Mines, but we haven't seen them exploited into other maps.
Good
We were
call.
talking about if they can play that way under all circumstances and then on all maps. They're possibly one of the best teams in the league, but that's a huge if, and we're seeing one glaring weakness in strategy and overall confidence in Cliff right now.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, back on defense is rivaL with 2 victories to the 0 of 07. Can they make it 3, or can 07 turn it on? Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Simple Tankers with a bat shat at 140, an STB, 2 T-22s, a T-55A, and a T-54 lightweight. Okay, they've dropped 1 tier point for an unknown reason. They could have had a T-54. I would not be surprised if they meant to have a T-54 and Jay's moved
I
ready
got
to
the
up the lightweight
lightweight.
instead.
Oh, no.
07 with a bat shot at 140, 2 T-22s, 2 TVPs, and an RE-251, running huge risk with those TVPs, but it pays off big time. You've got to be authoritative, and perhaps splitting is not the right way to handle that, but with a bat shot to add it up, that is a mountain of auto-loading, fatal movement. And over here for Simple Tankers, we're going to start moving into the middle. And not a real solid engagement zone for 07 at the moment. If Simple
Fosta.
Tankers push over to this, it could be a begin of a resurgence from 07.
Fosta kind of just dancing on the edge of death right now in that RE251. He's got to be careful. Looks like rivaL not scared. They're possibly going to push a couple members up. No, Pride turning his attention there. Taking a shot there on the Synergy 3K in that Object 140. J Smooth taking another shot onto Foster. Foster actually doing 275 to Pub Whisperer. Going to make him back down off of the hill there. Meanwhile, Warbander in that 50-51, 2 shots out, 2 shots remaining. Rock's now starting to let his fly. 341, they're going into him. He is doing a little bit of damage there onto Flak in that T55A. But a much different first offense than we saw 07 do. This time not going head-to-head against rivaL, trying a different approach. David, looking at the positions, working out.
Well, so far, Simple Tankers still on defense. They don't have to overplay at any point in time. Correctly not counter-pushing on that clip period for those 2 TVPs because of the positions the rest of 07 has. They tried to make sure they could give room to those TVPs. This time working out significantly better than it did last time. They do have all the positions they need to support them over there in the donut area, but they do have to find angles to get fire into Simple Tankers. There's really only a handful of ways they can do that without taking a mountain of return fire. They either have to wrap around with those TVPs and push up middle to guarantee 2 angles of fire, or they need to just hope that Simple Tankers makes a huge mistake.
Now, as you pointed out, I mean, you recognized it quickly. Obviously, it is your job to read off the tanks and look at the lineups for both these teams. But do you think 07 knows that rivaL is a tier point down?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. One of the very first things they do is you read the lineup of the enemy team. You do this in public matches, you do it in tournaments, you do it in Clan Wars. If you can in Clan Wars, you need spotting, but different topic. You always look at the enemy team's lineup, and then you try to either guess what they're going to do with it or what they're capable of doing with it in order to make proper decisions. You can maybe see something in slow mobility and know you can jump on them early and catch them in transition or make them flex. Maybe they're very fast, so you're looking for a potential rush coming out of them because they're faster to the middle than you are. It's a lot of different options, and you absolutely have to study the enemy team's lineup to get the correct solutions. Flak and Commander J already starting to take soak damage. The only thing Simple Tankers has going for them now, two things. One, they're on defense, but they are bleeding HP all over the place, and Coffee Thief is starting to slide in behind 07. But if that is done at the wrong time or he gets spotted and 07 is geared up and ready to roll, they can push into Simple Tankers and a tank advantage and really bring it home.
Right now, Commander J also taking a shot there. Foster taking 226. Pump Whisper almost going down, dodging a shot right at the end, which more than likely would have been his grave here for this battle. 4 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. So almost half the match has gone by. Let's see what 07 does. Yeah, they're, like you said, David, they're bleeding HP off of Simple Tankers now. Over 1,000. J Smooth taking another shot as well. 07 finding. Just who is that? Commodore and Vetro taking those shots into J Smooth?
Potentially all the way there in the back. I was actually looking at Coffee Thief getting shots into Commodore from behind from a very standoffish angle.
Oh, this is 07
recognizing the mismatch, and they're going to counter push real hard.
Start by taking down Flak, a great way to start the push. Rock's taking 9 and 8, but Warbanner finds Commander J. Executus finding Fosta, trying to stay in this Forest team. Pump Whisper will be going down to Commodore. That's a bad chat gone. He didn't even have his entire clip out at the time. Pride now getting surrounded. 11-14 going into him, and ladies and gentlemen, as this is going, it looks like it's going to be 07 finding their first victory of the night against rival Simple Tankers. Makos takes down J Smooth. Executive is taking some shots there as he's trying to claw up the hill. He is not going to get far. Oh, actually just kind of riding the side, using the elevation to his advantage there. Coffee coming at the end, just trying to do as much damage as he possibly can before his inevitable fate. He goes down to 1690. Commodore comes around the side to try to pick him up. Vetro missing the shot. It will be Commodore to find that one, leaving just Executus here, doing his best, but with just 0 points of HP. That is going to be 07 finding their first victory here against rival Simple Tankers, making it now 2-1, still in favor though.
We might have a game on our hands here.
That
is looking like 07 was just not handling the pressure well, but with a resurgence like that,
that's got to feel good.
Perhaps they might be able to get back. Let's go ahead and check out the stats. For Simple Tankers, Pride with the most, 2,000 damage, 1,500 out of Executus, and everybody else following below that. For here. Meanwhile, for 07, Warbanner with 2,800, Commodore with 2,000.
Oh, yeah.
Borderline 2,000 out of Rux and Makos as well. Vetro with 1,700, 1,300 out of Fosta. And Synergy 3K with 685. Not a huge amount, but it did stay alive. It did have to dance around particular places. Sometimes, we've talked a dozen times about this already, sometimes not doing damage, not taking damage is the best thing you can do to contribute to a match because your position is so dominating of an area. Somebody's going to have to camp and make sure you can't go anywhere. And
takes a gun out of the fight.
Depending on the other guns in the situation, the other positions in the situation, that's all you need. It's like, oh, well, as long as I tie this guy up, he can't shoot at my teammates, so we go get this 3v2.
Yeah.
Easy.
Well done. So again, just because the team does not get the points in the stat screen does not mean that we're not contributing at all. This is such a team-heavy game.
Everything is team-based. I mean, you have those moments where somebody carries or somebody makes a great play, but you win and you lose as a team.
Yeah, which is why we talked about why, looking back at some of the mistakes that people are making. Again, for rival, bringing that tier point down. Such that you win and lose as a team. Hopefully there's no one on that team going like, hey, why didn't you bring this? Or why didn't you?
If there is a stable team in the league,
it's rival.
I mean, they've been around
the longest.
They've been around the longest.
Yeah.
They've gone through so much as a team almost every
probably
season.
Like, sorry.
To them, they're probably like, we missed a tier point. Oh, well, it wasn't that big of a difference.
All right.
And I don't think that's what lost him that game.
But that's a great attitude to have going into the playoffs, trying to stay far away from tilt. Ladies and gentlemen, our final battle for our second match on Cliffs is about to begin. 07 looking to tie it up against rival. Can they do it? Or will Simple Tankers make it 3-1? Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for attacks.
For rival, a Bat Shadow 907, an STB, 2T22s, a TVP, and an RU251. For 07, 2 907s, 2 T22s, 2 TVPs, and an RU251 as well. A little bit more sustained fire on the side of Simple Tankers. By a hair.
Okay.
But the overall DPM and burst potential for 07 is unreal. And if it gets into a head-to-head fight, it could be over very quickly. But 07 favoring an uncomfortable level of splits for a map like this, in my opinion.
Okay. Oh, right now, some
wow.
action going off in the donut.
Oh, okay.
Looks like Foster taking so much damage, and he is just going to go down. And now Simple Tankers, no longer Rocks and Warband are just going to collapse upon them. A huge misplay coming out for 07 right now. Rocks going down. Look at that focus fire coming out from rival. 3 members going right into 1 tank. And now 17 executives picking up Warbander. 3 tanks, 07 gone. David, that's the uncomfortable split and the risk that you do when performing it, and that's what can happen.
That kind of play on the 1-2 with that kind of split is inconceivable to me, essentially. But 07 has a big fight to try and get out of here. We've seen him come out of tight situations before.
Now let's see here if Meadowhawk has gifted them the incendiary rounds. Synergy 3K taking 657 there. 980 going to that T22. 12-15. It is non-stop barrage coming out from rival, and Coffee Thief is going to finish off Synergy 3K right now. Their next target looks like it's going to be Commodore. He's doing his best to try to dodge in and out, trying to find the cover, find his fallen ally, but it is not going to be enough. Pride finds that one, leaving just Vetro and Makos. It's going to be Vakos if you combine them together. Down the corner, nothing they can do, and rival just going to dominate 07 right now. Going to take the lead, picking up their 3rd victory now against 07, making it 3-1 in the playoff second match where every single battle counts. So, David, inconceivable to you what they were doing there. Was it just with the tanks that they brought to that split? Do you think that could have worked with a different type of tank lineup?
Tanks brought how it was done a number of different things. I'll put it this way. I would have expected Meadowhawk to be wearing the Santa beard if they were going to give Simple Tankers a present that big at such a critical period
It was just
of
a
time.
gift. Here's a gift.
That was. Let's go to stats.
Let's do it.
07 with 1,900 out of Vetro, 1,100 out of Makos, and everybody else falling below 1,000, even under fire. Not a good accuracy rate for Simple Tankers. 2,400 out of Pride, 2,200 out of Commander J, 2,200 out of Coffee Thief, 2,000 out of Pub Whisperer, 1,600 out of Flak, 1,300 out of Executives, and even 1,000 out of J Smooth.
Well done to rival for just seeing that, taking it, and not fumbling.
At tier 10, you cannot split very well without very good positions to compensate for the introductory damage people will take. You certainly cannot split and then park blindly directly next to your entire opponent. It's not going to work out. There was a certain amount of fire that could have come from a fallback position in the north, but it wouldn't have been accurate enough or consistent enough or bursty enough or alpha enough to really scare off Simple Tankers. So as soon as that happened, they were giving away 3 tanks.
It's for nothing.
And it's irrecoverable.
So is there a world in which on Cliff 07 could have sent the 4 that they went over up into the north and collapsed with the guys in the south?
Sure, we've seen it in the past, but you have to delay the western guys
to a lot.
And then even then you open it up, because as they're pushing up that ramp and they see a couple people on top, and then it depends. If they have everybody under there,
we're just going to collapse anyway.
If they have everybody under there and they're on the ramp, you can get a high-low, and if you shoot well and you don't overplay, you can bring it back. But if you don't, it's game over.
That can happen. Ladies and gentlemen, now rival is up 3-1 against 07 here on our second match of the playoffs. We're going into Ghost Town again. So let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Interestingly enough, the last time these two teams faced off, they played neither of these maps.
Wow.
Simple Tankers.
That's got to be rough.
Looking to extend that lead with a 50B, 2-2-1-5s, an IS-7, a T-22, a Conqueror, and a T-10. 07 trying to stay in this with a 113, a 50B, 2-2-1-5s, 2 IS-4s, and an Object 416.
That's a great point, because you think about a huge thing I'd be thinking of as a team captain, or our guys last time we played them, where, what maps were we on, how did they do, and then let's try to maybe counter-strat to that. the fact that Ghost Town is now that we're on one of the least played maps in the game, anything could happen. 07 could have some crazy dominating strategy that rivaL has no idea what to do with. rivaL could just take it home with these next 2 victories. It's so up in the air right now on this map.
So think about this. As a new map, as a difficult map, a newish map, and a difficult map, you may only have one strategy for this.
Wow.
So just because you're confident in that one strategy doesn't mean you're going to play it. It means exactly the opposite. It means you're going to keep it in the pocket until you have to bring it
It's
out.
just going to be kind of a standard game.
So
Look
it makes
what they're
sense as to why a lot of teams would shy away from it until right about now where they break it out. We start seeing what they've had in their pocket this entire time.
Well, Commodore starting out, getting lit up, 17-17, 2,100 points of damage coming out in that Ice 4, and he is out of there. Unknown One picking up that tank, and that is the first one gone for 07.
Tell you, if 07 was somehow keeping it together before this, that cannot help. They really have to bring this out of the fire and win this game, or I feel like it's going to be an easy 5th win for Simple Tankers after this.
Yeah, I mean, just got, again, the pressure being added onto this. The fact that...
Sorry, I got to backtrack.
Okay, yeah.
Because they will be on defense. Simple Tankers, or 07 will be on defense.
It's going to be a crazy comeback.
It'll be hard.
Yeah, not impossible.
It'll be hard, but okay, here we go. 07 going to jump on 2 tanks in isolation with 5.
Right now, Simple Tankers actually rolling around there, taking down Synergy 3K and Vetro. They're just pushing very aggressively. Warbander turning to try to fight him. Let's see if he gets there in time to save an ally. Commander J taking a lot of damage. Synergy 3K being set on fire and finished off by Jay there as he takes 1235 and Warbander takes him down in that 5B, using that 50B himself. Vetro, though, should be falling any second. There he goes. Pride picking that one up, and now just 4 tanks remain, one with 3 points of HP on the side of 07. J Smooth finishing off Fosta. Warbander getting surrounded there and absolutely dominated in his 50B. There he goes. Pride picking that one up, and that's going to leave just Rux and Makos alive for 07. Nothing that they can do. rivaL Simple Tankers about to pick up their 4th victory here against 07. Makos now going down. Look at that triple tap there coming in from Executus as well as Unknown One. And that is going to be it for 07. Rox might be able to take down Pub Whisperer here. He has 1 shot up. Let's see if he can find it there. No, going right over the top of that 50B. It's going to allow Unknown One and J Smooth possibly to save him. Possibly can they save Pub Whisperer's life? They do. Hashtag Battle Buddies coming in clutch to save that 50B. And rivaL now 1 more game away from moving on and facing off against High Voltage for one of the 2 remaining spots for the Las Vegas Finals. Woo!
Let's go into stats.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rocks with 2,000, almost 2,100, 1,800 out of Mako, 1,600 out of Vetro, 1,400 out of Warbander over here for Simple Tankers in an incredibly authoritative game with well-rehearsed strategy, good map awareness, great shot selection overall.
Yeah.
We've got Pub Whisperer with 3,600, Unknown One with 3,500, 2,400 out of Pride, 2,300 out of Flax, 1,700 out of Executus, 1,400 out of J Smooth, and even 700 out of Commander J's 215 there.
Now, if there was ever a time to take a timeout, it would be now for 07. And we haven't gotten the call yet, so it seems
I believe
like
they already took a timeout.
Oh, did they?
I believe so.
Oh, well, maybe they did, and I absolutely forgot about it because you are now 1 game away. Not only do they not just have to stay alive, they have to stay alive for three more games into a tiebreaker.
Either way, you're exactly right. If they did have a timeout, now would be the time to use it.
Whew. Now,
This set of matches has gone by in such a blur. You know, I'm not sure they have. Actually, now I think about it, I don't think so. It's been very quick. It's been so under control from Simple Tankers, something we haven't seen from them very often at all this season.
again, it's been up and down,
But
up and
they've
down.
come in and they know what they're doing, and that to me, I can see crazy 183 strategies. I can see all sorts of just stuff that I would not agree with strategically whatsoever. But if you come in there and you do it and you look the way Simple Tankers does right now, where every
More
corner
power
you take,
to you.
everything you do is one cohesive push,
Yeah.
well orchestrated. I don't care. You're going to stomp a lot of teams in the league.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, rivaL Simple Tankers 1 more victory away from advancing here into the playoffs. 07, it's do or die for the next 4 games for them. Let's see if they can keep it alive. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
Simple Tankers looking to bring it home with a 113 of 50B, 2215s and IS7 and 2 T10s. 407, 2215s and IS4, T22 and E3 and double Conquerors. Try and claw their way into a 7th battle here from the defensive side. 07 cannot be feeling confident about what's going on right now. It is always hard to handle when a team does not look all season like somebody that's really been on your level at least towards the end. I mean, 07 and Simple Tankers have played up and down, so in many ways they're evenly matched, but their most recent battles, I don't know, it gets close. I didn't expect Simple Tankers to be able to crank out what they did against 07 or what they did against Noble again. But again, they're playing with that confidence, that aggression, that pre-planned movement, and it's working out well for them.
Right now, if 07 has anything up their sleeve, they need to pull it out. This is the time. It is do or die for them. Unknown one in that T10, which is, again, ladies and gentlemen, a Tier 9. Pushing to start apply some cap pressure here in the north. Foss and Rocks are spotted out. They've got to be careful. Pride and J-Smooth, maybe no, some shots on him. David, kind of the terrain over here in the north, it seems very up and down, kind of hillsy. Not maybe as intense, but just definitely got those inclines. A lot of cap pressure going out from Simple Tankers. 26 seconds now on the clock as J-Smooth joining Unknown One in his T10, dropping it down 23 seconds. There's a reset coming out from Fossa there. Fossa bouncing a shot. Now Synergy and Vetro starting to get into a good position to start whittling this down, keeping that off. Let's see what Simple Tankers can do. Maybe they're just trying to bait 07 to position. Maybe they're just trying to go for something. Pub Whisperer takes down Fossa there in that Conquer. Now that's already a tank down. That was one of the resets that was coming out from Synergy 3K, is now going to go have to join them to fill in that position. Meanwhile, Commodore getting spotted out in this IS4. Just so many battles happening on so many parts of the map.
Rocks and Synergy trying to come in from the side and flank Simple Tankers. They will have a chance of taking out Pride, but Simple Tankers going to push and try and get either Vetro or Commodore.
Vetro now in the danger zone. 3-4-95. He's been set on fire there. 12-41, and he goes down to Commander J. That is another tank fallen. 07 just has 5 tanks left. Simple Tankers, all 7 of them, as Commodore now goes down to flak, and it looks like this might be the snowball that sends Simple Tankers rival to the next stage of the playoffs to face off against High Voltage. One step closer, but 07 still has guns in the battle. They still have some fight left. Let's see if they can do anything. Mako's taking the shot there onto J-Smooth. He is now chasing him down that T22, but Executus and no one gonna come to join him to help their teammate out. Rocks taking 447. Now Simple Tankers, to add insult to injury, are going to apply cap pressure in the center. 82 seconds now, 41, as no one is going to join it. Probably dropping down to around 20 seconds now left on the clock. 5 minutes over on the battle. rivaL definitely has 07 right where they want them.
Pub Whisperer is just about reloaded, and he can clip out 2 tanks if he picks the right moment here. Synergy 3K taking down Flax IS7. Commander J trying to screen for 8 more seconds, and it's time for Pub Whisperer to get into this battle.
It is now or never for 07. They have 3 seconds on the clock. Pub Whisperer takes down Rocks, and it's not going to be enough time. Makos cannot get around the corner to find the reset. Synergy 3K takes a takedown, but it is all for nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, rivaL is going to be advancing to face off against High Voltage. 5-1 against 07. Congratulations to them. And again, like I said, David, after Caller wanted BAM60s, anything can happen, and that was almost a clean sweep from rivaL.
Caller wanted beating AM60 as close as it was nowhere near as
Oh
mind-blowing
no, absolutely.
as rivaL
Absolutely.
5-1ing 07. Now, rivaL beating him 5-3, 5-4. It's like,
Sure.
okay, yeah, sure, totally possible. 5-1? I wouldn't expect 07 to do that to rivaL or rivaL to 07. Either way, High Voltage, if you are out there and you're doing any sort of split positional movements, might be time to rethink that right now, because all of rivaL Simple Tankers' movements were great. They're drawing out that spread and then positioning themselves for better positions, isolations. They did it game after game after game. Perhaps they've figured it out. Perhaps they've figured out the format.
They saw the domination of 07 on Minds, was like, oh, we can do that.
Let's go to the stats.
All right, let's check it out.
For 07, Makos with 3,000, 2,200 out of Vetro, 2,000 out of Rocks, 1,800 out of Commodore, 1,800 out of Synergy 3K. And over here for Rival Simple Tankers, Commander J, 3,700 in the 2-on-5, 3,400 out of Pub Whisperer, Executus with 2,400, 1,900 out of Flak, and everybody else getting some sort of foothold into that battle. Both the T10s mostly doing forward control, not getting in a whole lot of damage, but just soaking up those shots. And controlling different areas.
Man, well done. Congratulations to rivaL for such a decisive victory to start out. We talked about, again, on Tuesday, kind of a message leading into the playoffs is fear, like creating the fear in your opponents. rivaL, I'm sure, has just done that. High Voltage, you have a team to look out for the fourth and final match of the night. But before we get to that, we have to do the third match. And before we get to that, it's time for another question from you guys using that hashtag mailbag. So, Quinn, what do we got?
All right, this time we got two questions coming for you. The first one comes from Tim Hamlet, and he wants to know, Christian, David, would you like to see his and B-Ted 72's show return next season?
Oh, yeah, that's a very easy question. Absolutely, you guys. It was so enjoyable to watch both of you. Bringing on the guest stars was awesome, and I'm hoping you bring it back next season because you guys are like my saving grace to making it on the first page for fun, and having just some sort of competition for the fantasy that we've got going on in the office here between David, between Tim. I mean, they're all so good, and I'm always doing some crazy split strategy. So, yes, my answer, yes. I would love to see your guys' show next season.
Of course, there's plenty of room for any sort of additional media, videos, talk shows, all that kind of stuff. We'd love to see any additional coverage of WGLNA possible.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tim.
All right, and our second question comes from Bartlett77, and this one's directly related to the finals. And he wants to know, is playing in person at the finals much different than playing like here?
Oh, David,
yes.
You can answer that one.
Yes, hugely different. For me, it wasn't so much the crowd pressure, although that is there to a certain extent, because that's still there on the internet for me.
Okay,
and
you've
for
got
the people,
chat.
For the people that you often care being embarrassed about the most or embarrassed in front of, that's actually your teammates or the other teams, so it doesn't
They're
make that
always
much
there.
of a difference. The big difference is travel, your food accommodations, because there's a lot of work to get things. Your overall comfort level is down, you're more tired, and then whatever the computer setup could be, it's widely varying. It's not your home computer, and it's crazy how much that makes a difference.
Oh, sure.
Inches on keyboard space, all of a sudden your mouse pad's a little bit more crowded than you're used to, and it's just entirely different, and that is hands down the biggest impact.
So many, I'm guessing, psychological aspects again, just not being in the same place.
And then the location is either closer or further from your home to the server than your home is. So you either get a higher ping or a lower ping.
Oh, that's gotta throw you off,
throws off
too.
your entire practice ability.
Wow. So
everything that you're used to is just wrong.
So the answer, definitely yes for that one.
Huge.
Thank you so much for those questions, guys.
All right, thanks for your answers, Tim. Bartlett, thank you so much for the questions. To everyone else, there's still one last chance to get your questions in, so make sure to send them to us at WGLNA, #mailbag.
All right, guys, match number 2 of the playoffs is done. Congratulations again to rivaL for picking up that victory. Match number 3, Eclipse versus Caller Wanted, is coming right up.